Digital transformation has been accelerated. And in time of COVID-19, it becomes more an obligation to survive than an opportunity to perform. So this is why recovery will be digital. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining Valorous Business Academy webinars. And most importantly, hope you are all safe with your families. I am Joelle Sikkar, experienced in banking, mostly in compliance and business intelligence. I'll be sharing and moderating the message across our speakers for today, Dana Shaheen and Bert Rai. Dana Shaheen brings around 20 years of professional experience in data science and modeling. As for Bert Rai, she is experienced in banking, mostly in compliance, risk, and business intelligence. This webinar, similar to all previous ones, will be recorded and posted on Valorous website. I'm sure a lot of you have questions, so you can submit them during the talk by clicking on the QA button below, and I will make sure to relay them as much as we can to our panelists at the end of the webinar. The ones left behind will be socialized in follow-up emails. Before tackling our agenda's topics with you and go deeply to discover how recovery will be digital, a quick introduction on Vallauris, 30 years in 30 seconds. Vallauris was founded in Lille, northern France, and now operating all around the globe. We deliver to multiple lines of business, and to name a few, banking and insurance, retail and merchandising, supply chain optimization, digital government, multimedia communication, and healthcare. Back to our main subject. Digital transformation has already started, but no one imagined there will be such a sudden COVID-19 pandemic. It turned the world upside down and forced us to break with the past and live a coming world. From the business side, it was a full collapse. But when we start to raise our heads, a new model established during and after. Digital was an option before, but now it's an obligation to a survival model of the business. The world after COVID-19 is unlikely to return to what it used to be. Recovery will be digital. This pandemic imposed a new way of doing business. Many trends already underway in the global economy are being accelerated. It's another dimension. It's another roadmap. We need to craft an ambitious reconstruction plan. Bert, please, can you share with us from your humble experience, your comments on the subject?
Good morning to you all, and thank you, Joelle. I think the questions we need to ask are, can we make access to digital government services seamless and faster? Can we make financial services accessible, more secure, and more competitive? Can we catch up with the transforming nature of education? As you said, Joelle, digital transformation has already started. Many business as usual approaches to serving customers Teaching students and servicing citizens would have failed otherwise. Organizations in a wide range of sectors and geographies have accomplished difficult tasks and achieved positive results in a record time. Recovery will be digital, but in a fast pace this time and based on disruptive innovation. Dana, can you provide us your feedback?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Indeed, Bert, leaders who want to succeed in this digital recovery must reset their digital agendas to meet new customer needs, shore up their decision support systems, and tune their organizational models and tech stacks to operate at the highest effective speed. COVID-19 has become an extraordinary catalyst for change. The need for innovation is greater than ever. The question is, how fast can we act? Enterprises that start building personalized, interactive, and shared virtual communities today can carry that success far into the future. Investing in explainable AI and other tools that enable true human-AR partnership allows businesses to reimagine their workforce in the future. While today's robotics leaders are filling new, pandemic-related roles, the ones truly thinking long-term, are also building a more automated future. Enterprises need to consider how they can introduce new features without overstepping. Failing to support these changes produces short-lived benefits. So leaders who create agile and resilient innovation DNAs will be positioned to meet new needs and build new capabilities faster than ever before. To you, Joelle.
Thank you, Dana. COVID-19 crisis is likely to significantly accelerate the shift to digital and fundamentally shake up the business landscape. For many companies, customers have already migrated to digital. Employees are already working fully remotely and are agile to some degree. As you can see in those figures, customer behaviors and preferred interactions have changed significantly, and while they will continue to shift to uptick in the use of the digital services is here to stay. And just for the info, 75% of people using digital channels for the first time indicate that they will continue to use them when things return to normal. It's worth reminding of industries that were completely wiped out, like Kodak, who did not get the digital transformation to be from filmmaker to digital image, and others that are struggling because they were lagging in terms of digital transformation, like Kmart, who didn't embrace the supply chain digital transformation where Walmart did. Let's focus on our content for today. Going forward, we will explore with Dana and Bert how recovery will be digital on financial services, governments and their agencies, education and training, and finally, how to ramp up digital capabilities to keep the fast pace. The age of digital transformation has arrived. Developing the financial services industry with new ways of doing business anytime, anywhere. With the growing area of digital banking channels available, customers seemingly have infinite possibilities for conducting financial business. The banking, insurance, and payment sectors have been, as you know, early adopters of digital transformation. COVID-19, though, exponentially accelerated innovation. We're witnessing years of evolution in the last few months. They will have to cope with the post-COVID-19 digital transformation evolution. Digital is a journey with more and more innovations and discoveries happening across the globe. It's time to self-disrupt. Bert, your part on this?
Yes, Joelle, financial services will be the biggest game changer in COVID-19 pandemic. Recovery will definitely be digital in this spectrum. Financial institutions will have to maintain strong liquidity and funding mechanisms. This step is clearly crucial both for financial institutions and for the broader economy. The support measures from government and central banks will help a lot with this, but financial institutions need to ensure that these measures reach affected functions and clients efficiently. Financial institutions also will have to shore up credit risk management. Although all industries will be impacted by the COVID-19 crisis, the effects will vary by sector and client. Risk drivers specifically related to the COVID-19 outbreak are not currently captured by credit rating systems. Banks, therefore, need to ensure that they understand their positions and they are in a position to mitigate issues quickly. Financial institutions need to refocus and update compliance priorities. Compliance teams should assess projects according to the bank's risk and commitments and determine what effort will be required to deliver appropriate compliance. Compliance officers must also assess the resilience and adaptability of their operating models and understand how COVID-19 may impact the delivery of different processes.
If I may, Bert, please.
Yes.
As an example, regulatory bodies like the European Banking Authority have stressed banks should pay close attention to how the shift to remote working and the potential pressure for banks to make up for lost volumes could test a bank's anti-money laundering and market conduct practices. Isn't it, Joelle?
Dana, it's also worth noting that low-income households and small firms will benefit greatly from advances in mobile money, fintech services, and online banking. Dana, financial inclusion, for instance, as a result of digital financial services, can also boost economic growth.
To your point, Joelle, many countries are supporting the shift with measures such as lowering fees and increasing limits on mobile money transactions. Lots of technology is out there, by the way, to address the financial services digital transformation recovery. We choose the most relevant ones of them as Valorous excels at all of these avenues. We have machine learning and advanced analytics technology analyzing the large data sets to identify patterns and respond to them. We have the descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and even prescriptive analytics are at the heart of our analytics engine to research human behavior and plot behavioral analytics. And that is especially in a context of financial crime and anti-money laundering. Also, blockchain saves back office costs by eliminating mistakes, increasing the efficiency of the ledger, and enhancing the transparency and security of data. All that as the P2P network of computers supporting the blockchain is decentralized. The transactions recorded are permanent and cannot be altered. Blocks are added chronologically, so transactions are permanent and cannot be altered, enhancing the transparency and, of course, the security of the data. On the other hand, the digital ID framework has become an integral part of the digital KYC lifecycle and uses controls to monitor the identity of individual users of a network. The digital identity management allows or limits access to systems and data to simplify organizational operations and enhance the customer experience. Plus, cybersecurity solutions help financial services providers protect the systems from phishing, business email settlement, ransomware, and distributed denial of service attacks, all that due to the heightened risk of cybersecurity threats. In addition, robo-advisors provide automated advice to improve customer service with minimal human intervention, allowing investment advisors target the mass affluent as a new customer base among many other applications. Hence, the robotics is designed to apply logic-driven algorithms to perform high-volume, low-value added tasks instead of humans. So the robotic process, especially the robotic process automation, can manipulate data and interact with other systems, improving quality, speed, and agility. And as a final point, master information management is managed with the digital asset management to store, share, and even organize digital assets in a central location, and that goes hand in hand with the consent management to collect and handle users' consents, manage data subject requests, and even pass all consent-related data to the respective ad partners and mastering the identity management. Joelle?
To your point, Dana, if I may, guidance issued by financial sector authorities in response to the COVID-19 crisis suggested international efforts to come up with operational resilience standards that take into account critical or essential employees, IT infrastructure, third-party service providers, and cyber resilience.
Yes.
So now it's for you, Joelle.
Thank you, Bert. Digital technologies have enabled governments to make rapid policy decisions based on real-time data and analytics, and that to enhance the capacities of local authorities for better coordination and to deploy evidence-based services to those who need them most. So recovery will certainly be digital, right, Bert?
Yes, even though public-private partnerships are essential for implementing innovative technologies, government leadership, strong institutions, and effective public policies are crucial to tailor digital solutions to countries' needs, as well as prioritize security, equity, and the protection of people's rights. Dana, what do you think?
In fact, Bert, the COVID-19 pandemic has emphasized the importance of technology, but also the essential role of an effective, inclusive, and accountable government. Isn't it, Joel?
Right, Dana. Digital government has played a central role as a key tool of communication and collaboration between policymakers and society during the COVID-19 pandemic. Policymakers need to further embrace the future of digital government, even when the crisis is over. Digital transformation is no longer just a nice to have or a choice. It has become an obligation. From your angle, Bert?
Although most governments are gradually moving towards complete digitalization, they are at a very different stage of their digital transformation journey. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced several governments to re-examine the way they do things, how they interact with their citizens, and how they keep their country functioning in these unprecedented times. Right? Recovery will be digital to address the pain rotating around proximity governments, and this is through digital dynamic KYC services and channels, open government through open data and open services, smart governance, and that is through analytics, KPIs, KRIs, business intelligence, AI, and machine learning, efficient government through MIS solutions, whole of government, and that is through architecture and platforms. In some countries like Singapore, the services provided to the public by government agencies have been almost completely digitalized, allowing the public administration to continue functioning as normal even during the COVID-19 crisis. That's the digital recovery direction that will be embraced by governments who are not yet at this stage. Your opinion, Dana?
Going forward, Bert, this challenging time has also highlighted to governments and their agencies where they lag in terms of digital transformation. It has shown them gaps in their infrastructure and where they should invest. It has helped governments identify where immediate investments are and where they are needed, and also made them look in more detail at future planning and business continuity. Joanne?
To your point, Dana, e-government platforms are essential to the digital recovery, and that to continue providing essential services online, single windows, and that is through platforms around implementation of fiscal rescue measures such as and processing trade operations.
So true, moving forward with Bert's previous point, the one around recovery will be digital to address the pain. So for proximity government, KYC services and channels, digital recovery as we approach it at Vallauris will happen based on solutions like Know Your Citizen, Know Your Data, government portals, BI and data marts, AI and analytics, GRC industrial government workflow, and all that based on Valorous dynamic open framework with standard secure architecture and of course international community frameworks. What do you think, Bert?
Yes, Tana, recovery will be digital for governments as they are using technology to improve their citizens' lives. IoT will make cities smarter and connected. AI and chatbots will create more citizen-centric experiences. Security and protection are keys as cybersecurity attacks are a form of 21st century warfare. RBA, the risk-based approach, is a must to aid in informed decision-making, improving mobility in the future with enterprise-oriented apps. Government agencies can consolidate enormous quantities of data and use sophisticated analytics to learn more about how to best serve citizens. Digital government platforms will play a vital role in simplifying processes and personalizing citizens' experience. Back to you, Joelle.
Thank you, Bert. COVID-19 pandemic has forced a digital shift in the education this time, in the media and the communication sectors, and that to re-examine the way they are doing things to allow at the end a continuity in the day-to-day life during lockdown. The education sector needs to shift from focusing on traditional academic skills and start concentrating on skills such as critical thinking and adaptability, which will be more important for success in the future. Could the move to online learning be the catalyst to create a new, more effective method of educating students? So, Bert, what is your side from this story?
Well, when learning from home, not all students have equal time or space to focus on their classroom. Equity will no longer be an afterthought. The barrier to success is structural. Now we have the classroom where it will be everywhere. Digital recovery will rotate around adapting to this new normal. Students can manage their own schedules. Schools will support families rather than just the other way around. And in the future, schools will rethink the digital capacity on how they can better support families. There will definitely be new measures of success. Using standardized tests to evaluate schools distorts educational purpose. What do you think, Dana?
If I may, Bert, the learning industry will recover based on its speed to evolve with digital transformation. Academies like Vallauris Business Academy offer comprehensive learning solutions and content over educational digital community platforms with subject matter expert resources that aim to help professionals, teachers, schools, academies, administrators, and even parents facilitate learning and provide social care and interaction during periods of school or office closure and even beyond. A huge demand is rising on the financial crime training, for instance, and that is for governments and commercial institutions. Joanne?
Thank you, Dana. The rapid migration to digital technologies driven by the pandemic will continue into the recovery. Let's figure out how to accelerate the digital capabilities to keep pace. For many companies, as we have said, customers have already migrated to digital. Employees are already working fully remotely and are agile to some degree. Companies have already launched analytics and AI initiatives in their operations. IT teams have already delivered at a pace they never have before. But for most companies, the changes to date represent only the first phase of the changes that will be necessary. So Bert, how do you think we need to refocus digital efforts toward the changing customer expectations?
Well, CEOs should ask their business leaders to assess how the needs and behaviors of their most important customers have changed and benchmark their digital channels against those of their competition. Chief digital officers and chief information officers can then quickly refocus agile teams to execute the most urgent priorities. Continually measuring digital channel performance will be critical so that companies can quickly adapt as they learn more. So we need to consider setting up continuous forums for senior business and technology leaders to process the learning coming in and drive pace in a coordinated fashion. Now, doing so requires an increase in the organizational drumbeat. So in the first step of recovery, we will need to identify the business areas where digital execution velocity is needed and map out plans by digital factories to support them. And in parallel, assess where remote work models could unleash productivity benefits. Doing so, second, design the need models with consideration for staffing level, expertise mix, governance, and operating procedures. And finally, implement and operationalize the new designs, and that is to implement and scale a digital factory. We have seen banks and insurance companies pivot entire field forces to a remote model in a few weeks. Joel?
Indeed, Bert. Leaders who want to succeed in the digital recovery must reset their digital agendas to operate at the highest effective speed. Achieving better digital channels to win the revenue race will definitely help organizations get there. So Dana, how can we optimize the technology capabilities to win this race?
The fact, Joel, is that we need to selectively modernize technology capabilities. So first, we need to develop the plan to right-size and create a more valuable cost structure, the faster the better, of course, to free up resources for the digital recovery. Second, choose the right cloud partners. While speed is of the essence, CIOs should thoughtfully consider the contractual structures offered by technology providers. By focusing on setting up or enhancing a cloud-based data platform and equipping agile teams with automated software delivery, CIOs can maximize development velocity in the short term. To end with, continuing to pay attention to cybersecurity, of course, as the rapid IT carried out during the COVID-19 crisis might have created new cyber risk exposures. What do you think, Joanne?
One thing worth noting, Dana, it's also a no-brainer to launch the recruiting of additional digital talent and accelerate digital upskilling of the entire organization this time. And that is either with internal capacity or while partnering up with companies like Vallauris Business Academy to deliver the right content and resources.
True, Joel. Now, it's also important not to forget the use of new data and artificial intelligence to improve business operations. So, Chief Analytics Officer should mobilize an effort to revisit core models that support business operations. Once the pandemic situation stabilizes, CEOs and business leaders should push their data and analytics teams to develop next generation models that leverage new data sets and modeling techniques better suited for fast-changing environments. To you, Joel.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Bert. We have reached the end of our webinar. If I may ask a question just to summarize what we have done today. Could you imagine you have enough time to resist on recovery will be digital? As we can repeat from our introduction, the coronavirus was a collapse on the business side. But when we start to raise our head, a new model established during and after. On the government recovery, when the coronavirus pandemic erupted, governments had to increase the speed of decision-making, mostly promoting health and safety to people, and keeping economies and societies working. All that while improving productivity, using technology and data, and this time in new ways, based on real-time data and analytics, and accelerating the scope and scale of innovation. And hopefully it worked. Governments and their agencies are gradually moving towards complete digitalization, but reality check, the corona pandemic has highlighted where they lag in terms of transformation. The services provided to the public by Singapore government, for instance, have been almost completely digitalized. COVID-19 forced several governments to re-examine the way they do things. Going forward, they will need to carry out essential online digital services to interact with their citizens and keep their country functioning as planned. But how can you conclude after all what we have discussed today?
I will take the financial services section and what they did on recovery. Banks have been responding to regulatory demands imposed in the aftermath of 2008. But they are now struggling with the new regulations, and some are fighting back due to limitations in their existing business models. To survive, they need to adapt to the systemic shifts underway. Banks need to accelerate transitioning to remote sales and service teams. They need to refine digital outreach to customers and to make flexible payment arrangements for loans and mortgages. Insurance, digital transformation, and disruptive innovation have gone from being vague futuristic concepts to immediate action items on their strategic agendas. They need to shift from core transformation to digital transformation. In recent years, electronic payments have already been one of the fastest areas of growth in financial services. The crisis, though, accelerated this growth. The technologies exist already, but consumer and merchant understanding and adoption has significantly increased. Financial institutions need to respond to this high demand. Dana, what do you think on the market recovery?
Well, at the end, on the market recovery, the rapid migration to digital technologies will definitely continue into the recovery. We'll need to refocus and accelerate digital investments in response to evolving customer needs, using new data and AI to improve business operations, selectively modernizing technology capabilities to boost development velocity and increase organizational agility to deliver more quickly. Leaders who want to succeed in the digital recovery must reset their digital agendas to operate at the highest effective speed. To you, Joelle.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
In line with authority standards, and when it comes to financial, government, and education services, Vallauris is a pioneer in master data governance and digital KYC on AML, GRC, advanced screening, transaction monitoring, enterprise risk management. On the AI basics, descriptive diagnostic and predictive analytics, and all that is carefully designed around improving operations, execution, and decision making. So when it comes to implementation, Vallauris has aligned its solutions with regulators to provide significant fintech, regtech, and education tech opportunities to manage issues presented by COVID-19. Now, Valorous Business Academy accelerates digital transformation by unlocking the potential of people and bridging the world's financial institutions and governments with COVID-19's recovery will be digital. We understand each organization's context, goals, and challenges, and craft targeted programs that are directly linked to the drivers of value. We have more than a decade of experience in designing and deploying learning programs catered by a network of consultants and capability centers around the globe, with webinars like today's and courses carefully designed by subject matter experts. So Valorous offers today to financial institutions, governments, and education industries comprehensive learning solutions, and that to improve current management and business models. So you have the values, we bring you the added values. Now let's move to the questions. Time check, I think we'll select a couple of them. And as I have said, for the remaining questions that we will honor to answer, we will socialize them to your business emails. I can see questions about COVID and insurance, digital transformation, and financial services. Okay, so let's start with this first question about insurance. I think, Bert, it falls under your wings since you worked on many insurance digital transformation projects. So the question is, can you share with us how insurance companies are coping with digital transformation and disruption from startups or insurtechs?
Okay, so if I may, the question is about how insurance companies gone with the flow of digital transformation as a first section of the question. And the other one, where do they stand from disruption with startups and insurtechs, right?
Right.
Okay, so coping is a very good word. I would say that all organizations are in the middle of their own level of digital transformation. In comparison to other industries, insurance seems to be lagging a bit. They will need to leverage new data sources or thinking about machine learning and AI, or they need to focus on a more seamless consumer experience to cope with digital transformation. Regarding the second part of your question, insurance carriers are coping with startups and insurtechs by investing in or partnering with them. So many insurers have started venture investment funds for this very purpose. Hope I gave a briefing. We can share more details later in the emails.
Indeed, Bert, we hope so. I will take another question, question number 2, about government and the public-private relationships. Please, Dana, if you can elaborate on this one. So the question is, you mentioned the public-private partnerships that are essential for implementing innovative technologies. So how establishing multi-stakeholder partnerships can be industrialized? Thank you for this question. Very interesting.
Indeed. Please let me recheck with you, Joelle, the question.
Yeah, sure.
We need to show how we can implement innovative technologies between both public and private sectors.
Exactly, Dana.
Okay. Governments often lack the financial and human resource capabilities to quickly and efficiently develop digital tools that can support people during a crisis situation. Therefore, building partnerships with private technology companies such as Vallauris can represent an effective way for governments to make use of existing technologies to meet the needs of people and soften the impact of the crisis on their lives. I'll take an example. The United States government issued a call for action to key industry stakeholders and artificial intelligence experts too, to develop new text and data mining techniques that can help the scientific community answer high priority questions related to COVID-19. This is an example that we can share with our audience, that how we are doing the partnerships between the public and the private sector, especially in terms of technologies. That's all what I have for the moment, Joelle. Hope we covered the questions raised for now.
Thank you, Dana. We hope so. Last question, unfortunately, for today. And if you allow me, Bert and Dana, I will take this one.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. So, what are the key enablers for digital transformation in financial services? I would answer, digital transformation has become essential as a mean to future-proofing the business and improving the customer experience, the employee capabilities, the operational efficiency, and the business economics. So commitment from all level of the organization, let's call it, is a prerequisite to successful digital transformation. An early step on the journey is to unlock human potential and create an organization that's open to change, resilient to risk, and fit for the future. So getting digital transformation right requires the right structure and discipline for the organization strategy and level of digital maturity. It also requires looking beyond the firm to proactively engage with key stakeholders, regulators, partners, investors in the broader business environment. So thank you for questions again. And thank you for joining us today. Thank you for our dear panelists. Stay tuned for upcoming Valorous webinars with Valorous Business Academy, and stay safe.